If you thought the last few years were a wild ride, you might want to buckle up. We're standing right on the edge of a massive technological revolution. And I'm not talking about some far-off sci-fi fantasy. No, this is a wave of change that's happening right now, and it's backed by some serious heavy hitters, like the World Economic Forum and McKinsey. These technologies are about to redefine, well, pretty much everything. So let's explore what's coming our way.
It's really the big question, isn't it? What's going to shape our future? And the answer isn't just one single invention. It's more like a whole symphony of breakthroughs, all happening at once, and they're ready to reshape our lives, our biology, and even the planet we call home. So this is our starting point. We're going to explore 3 huge revolutions that are already kicking into gear. And these aren't just little upgrades, like a faster phone. These are fundamental shifts that are going to completely rewrite the rules of what we think is possible. All right, our first revolution. It doesn't start in some shiny lab or a massive factory. Nope, it starts inside of us. We're really on the verge of moving past just treating symptoms, and instead, we're starting to actively rewrite our own biological code to create a healthier future. Okay, forget pills, forget injections. I want you to imagine a future where your medicine is actually alive. A future where you just swallow a probiotic, right? But inside are these tiny engineered bacteria, basically a microscopic pharmacy living in your gut. And it's smart. It can detect when you're getting sick and then create the exact medicine you need, right then and there. The potential here is it's staggering. We're not just talking about saving trillions of dollars, which is huge. We're talking about giving real hope to 1 billion people who are struggling every day with chronic illness. It's about making sure that it doesn't matter where you live, you can have access to the future of medicine. So, from rewriting our internal chemistry, we're now moving on to rewriting the very connection between our minds and the world around us. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? It perfectly captures what brain-computer interfaces are all about, dissolving that line between a thought and an action. This isn't just some abstract number. That's 1 billion lives that could be completely transformed. 1 billion people with disabilities who could potentially get their movement back, find their voice again, and experience a kind of independence that we once thought was impossible. This is about unlocking human potential on a scale we've never seen. All right, so our journey now takes us from the inner space of our own bodies to the world we all live in. The second revolution, it's all about reimagining and rebuilding the very foundations of our planet's energy and infrastructure. So when you hear the word nuclear, what do you picture? Probably those giant, sprawling power plants from the past, right? Well, the future of nuclear looks completely different. It's smaller, it's way safer, and it's a lot smarter. Let me introduce you to small modular reactors, or SMRs. They're a whole new breed of nuclear tech that's built in a factory, is inherently safer, and is unbelievably versatile. So what makes these SMRs such a game changer? Well, first off, they're tiny. We're talking compact enough to be built in a factory and shipped anywhere in the world. They use these advanced coolants, like molten salt, that make them basically meltdown-proof. And they provide that reliable, 24/7, carbon-free energy that we desperately need to power our future. Everything from our cities to the massive data centers that are going to run all this new AI. And listen, this is not some fringe concept. By 2040, the global market for SMRs is projected to hit a jaw-dropping $1 trillion. That's a trillion with a T. It's a massive signal that the world is getting ready for a whole new era of clean, dependable energy. Generating clean energy is really only half the battle. We also have to completely revolutionize how we store it and how we use it. And that's where structural batteries come in. It's such a brilliant idea. The actual structure of a device, like, say, the body of an electric car, becomes its own battery. This makes everything lighter, way more efficient, and it just pushes the boundaries of what we thought was possible. Okay, so we've got a new foundation for our biology and a new foundation for energy. Now we arrive at our third and final revolution, the rise of a completely new kind of artificial intelligence. An AI that doesn't just give you answers, it takes action. This is what's called agentic AI. I want you to imagine an AI that isn't just a tool you use, but is more like a partner, a virtual collaborator that you can give a really complex goal to, like, hey, plan my entire vacation from start to finish, and it will actually reason, strategize, and execute every single step, just like a real-life human assistant would. So, how does it actually work? Well, the AI takes your big, ambitious goal and it breaks it down into a bunch of smaller, manageable tasks. And then it just seamlessly navigates the digital world using apps, browsers, whatever it needs to get the job done. No more tedious clicking for you. No more endless searching. You just get the result. Now, the economic impact of this is, well, it's astronomical. By 2030, agentic AI is projected to add $15 trillion to the global economy. To put that into perspective, that's 10 times the impact of spatial computing. You know, the tech behind AR and VR, which is another huge technology. Agentic AI is basically an economic force of nature.
But you knew there was a but coming, right? With all this incredible power comes a pretty profound challenge. In a world where AI can generate anything, how do we tell what's real and what's fake? The answer lies in a super important counter-technology, generative watermarking. Think of it like an invisible signature, a digital fingerprint that acts like a truth serum for this new age of AI.
So, we've journeyed through 3 really distinct revolutions. One in our biology, one on our planet, and one in our intelligence. But the real magic, the part that's truly incredible, is when you start to see how all of these things connect and intertwine, creating a future that's so much bigger than the sum of its parts. Think about it like this. The data from our own minds, maybe captured by one of those brain-computer interfaces, is going to be analyzed by an agentic AI. And that AI is going to be fueled by the clean, abundant energy from those SMRs. It's this incredible virtuous cycle where each revolution empowers the next one, creating a future with possibilities we can't even imagine yet.
And this all brings us to a really fundamental truth. These technologies, they aren't our destiny. They're just tools. They're amplifiers of our own intentions. So the future we end up building is really just going to be a reflection of the choices that we make today.
So here we are, at a major crossroads. The tools to cure disease, to restore our planet, and to unleash human potential are literally right here, within our grasp. The hardware is here, the software is here. The only question that's left is, what future are we going to choose to build?